Hey my friends, Diana Dodd here, owner of Garden of Life Health Coaching, and I'm back outside here at the garden. And if this is your first time to tune in, I just want to welcome you and just invite you to take these videos in and check out any of the other ones and see if you can find some little nugget of wisdom or inspiration, hopefully something helpful to bless your day today and that you might be able to carry forward. So today what I have had on my mind is, especially with spring having come and everything is growing, and out in our garden beds we had all this weeds and even wheatgrass grow from this wheat straw that I put on it last year. And I almost did this video out there so you can see what I've been dealing with, but you know, I've had to deal with a mess that I had to clean up because weeds had come in, and it actually was this really thick mat that had taken over these beautiful garden beds. You know, we had harvested the rest of the vegetables, of course, last fall, and had meant to be proactive and cover those beds and put something on them, right, to help kind of squash all the weeds that were growing and all that wheatgrass that was growing already. So we wouldn't have a big job this spring. And we never did it. You know, do you ever do that? Do you have an intention to do something, to be proactive? And it can be anything in life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a garden where you're being proactive. It can be being proactive about making good choices about relationships and drawing boundaries with people who are really hard on us and difficult with us and that we know aren't good for us. You know, relationships that are maybe even toxic. It can be physical things like choosing to eat growing healthy food instead of processed food. It can be choosing to get outside and move and have a little exercise in our lives, or you know, doing something that you enjoy that's a physical activity or not. And how often do we kind of do the not? We aren't proactive. We don't put that cover on the beds in the garden that keep out the weeds, just like we allow weeds to come in our lives. You know, and I talked about this in another video, one that I was actually wearing a ball cap and I was outside dealing with some ivy, and it's that recurring theme of nature that shows us that if we don't stay ahead of nature, that invasive weeds will come in, whether it's weeds in the garden or ivy that tries to take over, thorns and all these different things that can invade the plants that we want to flourish. And then in our lives, going back to those other examples, like if I don't choose to eat healthy growing foods at least somewhat regularly, I'm going to pay the consequence for that. If I keep choosing not to move and I make those choices instead of the ones that might serve my body better, I'm going to have to reap what I have sown. So y'all, with that garden and dealing with these beds that were just choked and matted with weeds, it made so much more work this spring for us to get these raised garden beds done. And I told my husband, I'm like, never again, Byron, are we going to do this. We will make sure that we're proactive and make sure that we think ahead for what we're going to deal with in the spring if we don't make some action steps in the fall. And I just have that on my heart today. So what action steps are kind of on your mind that you have wanted to do in your life for you and your care? You know, I did a post, a little tip on Tuesday about self-care and how important that is. And it's not selfish to do self-care, you guys. It is essential, you know, so that you can bring the best you to the people in your lives, to what you are here to accomplish in this life. You know, you don't want to bring just what's left of you. You want to bring the best of you. I just love that quote. So what is on your mind as something that you need, you know, to do? What is some proactive care when it comes to eliminating weeds, getting them pulled out of your life? Or what do you need to do that's going to prevent problems later? So what little action steps have you been thinking of? Man, I really need to do, insert that thing. So I think that's, to me, a really great reminder here in spring. And that's just what's on my heart today. So what do you have on your mind? I'd love you to reach out to me, or you can share a comment if it's something that you're comfortable sharing. You know, we have so much more success when we have a goal, that was something that we want to do. When we share it, you know, that really starts increasing the likelihood of achieving that goal. But even if we decide that on a goal, that's about 10% chance of success. If we share it with somebody else, that's going to make that go up to about 15% or so. That's not a whole huge increase. When you make a time frame for it, When you start making action steps for it, then you start seeing that increase to like 50% and then 65%. But do you know what'll take it all the way to 95% chance of success? It's having an accountability partner, somebody that you're going to be sharing that goal with, that's going to help you be accountable, that you're going to meet with regularly. So if you've got somebody in your life that you, for example, work out with, that's going to be waiting for you at the gym, that's going to notice if you're not there, that's an excellent accountability partner. And if you don't have that, what's the likelihood that you might just roll over and not go to the gym or not fit that in your day? So that's, one wonderful example. And as a health coach, a life coach, that's what I offer people, is that time to come and meet with me and share what you know that you want to be doing, what you know your next steps are. I help you discover those, or you may already have those already on your mind. And then how can we pull those goals apart into action steps, right? So you figure out what you want to do, and then how do you put those action steps into your day-to-day life? I've often said that it's easy to fall functioning under the tyranny of the urgent and only doing those things that are kind of in our face, that seem really critical, and then we don't do all those other things that we really wanted to get done, that we really wanted to do. So being able to identify what you want to do, what are those proactive steps in your life to keep the weeds out or to remove those that have already tried to come in, where do you need to clean house, as it were, and what do you need as support to get that done, to start making those positive changes and keep making them. So it is spring, it's a fresh, beautiful new season, everything is growing and coming to life, and it's a great time to take stock and see what do you need so you can come fully to life, because every habit that we form, every decision we make is propelling us in a direction, and it's either in a good direction where we're going to keep growing and improving and flourishing, or we might end up shifting ourselves to where we don't want to go. So what do we do today to make sure that we set a course for what is going to serve us best? So my friend, I just want you to live the most vibrant life, because that's what you were created to live. And if I can be of service to you in any way, if meeting with me would help you have that support that you need, you just reach out to me. I would love to work with you. And we always start with that free initial consult. So it's just a great conversation to get that started. And and every day I want you to remember this truth. I always close my videos with this because to me it is critical. I want you to remember that life is precious and you, my friend, are precious. So you treat yourself accordingly. Go and be blessed. Enjoy the rest of this week, and I'll talk with you soon.